Netflix has always had bad fundamentals. In fact, the only thing it really ever had going for it were a first mover advantage and the typical fanfare hype that follows. On Tuesday, the stock price dropped by as much as 26% on the news that Netflix's subscriber count dropped for the first time in the company's history. The company expects to lose 2 million more subscribers in the second quarter of this year. This is particularly disastrous for a company like Netflix because its mantra has always been more subscribers will lead to higher margins, will lead to more profits. In other words, the Netflix plan was for them to arrive at a point where the revenue generated by their millions of extra subscribers would far dwarf the production costs of creating their original films and shows because there wouldn't be any significant costs to acquiring those new subscribers when they already have and produce their dozens of shows. This isn't going to happen, unfortunately, and here's why. To grow its revenue, Netflix must now spend so much more, meaning its profits will decline. Netflix will only face increasing competition in the coming years largely because 1. Other streaming services will begin to cannibalize its market share, and 2. Licensing agreements for much of Netflix's back catalog will be terminated by the copyright holders so that the shows can be returned to their original homes, whether that home is Disney, Tubi by Fox, or HBO Max. Netflix is therefore left with no other choice but to spend significantly more on creating their own original shows. But how exactly does it plan to finance these rising production costs? It can't exactly raise subscription prices because it recently did that, and a further price hike will only alienate more of its customer base. The CEO tells us he plans on crackdowns on users and households who share passwords, but I doubt they'll be able to extract much value from people who aren't willing to pay for their own subscription in the first place. In other words, Netflix is damned if it does and it's damned if it doesn't. It's really not a place any business wants to be in. My conclusion is therefore that subscription streaming services are a terrible business model. Subscription streaming services have always been a terrible business model in my humble opinion. The only way they really work is that they function purely as a middleman and don't get involved in producing their own content. Similar to how Spotify and Apple Music license music from record labels and pay the companies and artists a set amount per 1,000 streams. Netflix, on the other hand, spends billions every year creating its own original shows. This doesn't work for it because Netflix cannot provide customers with both high production value content and large volumes of content and high turnaround. By high production value content, we mean content that is similar to that is produced by Hollywood film studios and US TV networks. Meanwhile, by large volume of content and high turnaround, we mean content that is similar to the endless entertainment that both TikTok and YouTube provide. It cannot do both things while charging a subscription price that starts at $9.99 per month. You can't possibly maintain both quality and quantity at this price point. One will undoubtedly have to suffer. If quality suffers, as it unfortunately has in recent years, viewers will feel that they're not getting good value for money. If quantity suffers, viewers will feel that they're not getting enough for their buck. In other words, once again, Netflix is damned if it does and it's damned if it doesn't. For reference, $9.99 per month is less than what YouTube charges for YouTube Premium, which allows viewers to watch videos both offline and ad-free from their favorite content creators, as well as granting them access to some exclusive YouTube content. Am I saying that Netflix is too cheap? I guess, in a way, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Because for Netflix to succeed and overcome the competition, in other words the big Hollywood studios and TV networks, it will need to deliver high-quality content in large volumes. To do that, however, it needs to start charging its subscribers much more than it currently does, probably something closer to the $40 per month mark. But will anyone pay that? I honestly don't think so. And so, that's exactly why Netflix is doomed to fail. As always, this was Dr. Crypto Finance. Subscribe for more content just like this.